If Urban League wasn't in my life, I'd probably still be out here trying to probably look for some jobs or really don't know what to say in interviews and stuff like that. So the things that they taught me really did have a big effect on my life.
I just heard a voice said, "Stop at the Urban League." They sat there and looked and talked with me. And she felt my spirit and I felt theirs.
I just want to say thank you to the Urban League for, giving back to me and my family, my kids, helping me with my bills, finding me a new job because I really needed it. And it's a true blessing to have it.
The Urban League of Metropolitan St. Louis empowered these people to look forward to a brighter future. And for 100 years, they've done the same for our community. Hi, I'm Art Holliday, 5 on your side. It all started in the aftermath of the infamous deadly race riots in East St. Louis, Illinois. The riots began when thousands of black migrants traveled to East St. Louis seeking jobs in factories holding government contracts. By the riots' end, between 40 and 200 blacks had been killed. But in the late spring of 1918, an independent branch of the National Urban League was organized under the leadership of Reverend John A. Day, a Unitarian minister, and George W. Buckner, the former executive secretary of the Urban League of East St. Louis. Reverend Day became the first Urban League board chair. In 1932, Executive Secretary John T. Clark founded the Federation of Block Units, an organization dedicated to helping St. Louis area residents improve their neighborhoods. During the 1960s and 70s, under Urban League President Bill Douthit, the Urban League offered vocational training and St. Louis City area neighborhood stations under President Lyndon B. Johnson's Great Society programs. Under President James H. Buford, the Urban League redefined its service areas into 3 regions: St. Louis City, St. Louis County, and St. Clair County, Illinois. The agency expanded its services to offer weatherization and Head Start services and began hosting its annual Thanksgiving dinner giveaways.
The Urban League is really making a difference for people in our city. When I first got back to St. Louis, the Urban League was being run by Jim Buford, and I was extremely impressed with the efficiency of the organization and the team in which he had built. And then having been on the board and actually seen what was an extremely smooth transition with the hiring of Michael McMillan and his leadership during these past few years, which have been years of challenge here in our city.
Michael P. McMillan became the Urban League president CEO 1 year before the crisis in Ferguson. McMillan acted quickly to take steps to resolve the situation. The Urban League participated in peaceful demonstrations, distributed food and toiletry items to displaced Ferguson residents, and hosted the largest job fair in Urban League history at the St. Louis Community College in Ferguson, with more than 5,000 in attendance in September 2014.
I knew he was on the ground, and they had been on the ground in that community, and he would know how we could be helpful. He said, honestly, Deborah, we need a long-term solution to helping our young black men get secure full-time employment.
Shortly thereafter, the Urban League implemented the Save Our Sons program to help African American men find jobs in the St. Louis area. The Save Our Sons program became a movement on its own, having assisted 400 men for job placement and gaining national attention. Following the creation of Save Our Sons, McMillan asked Quick Trip if the Urban League could build a community empowerment center on the site of the Ferguson store, which was burned during the crisis. Today, the Ferguson Community Empowerment Center stands as a testament to the power that is found in working together to build a stronger and more diverse community.
That institution that has been built shows the hope and the aspiration of so many young people to have job training, someone to be a voice for the voiceless, and to say, we are here to help you develop and strengthen your voice and your hand talent.
For a century, the Urban League has found homes for the homeless, jobs for the unemployed, and various programs to help improve economic conditions for African Americans.
Before I started the Urban League, I was basically looking for a job, just looking for employment. My job had just stopped. I was working at a seasonal job at Busch Stadium. My mom told me about the Urban League, so once I went up there and tried the Urban League out, I met Mr. Dennis, and he was real nice to me, welcomed me in. I learned a lot of lessons. They taught me a lot of stuff on how to get a job, how to keep a job, how to maintain your job. They taught me what to wear during interviews. They actually gave me a lot of things to wear. They gave me clothes and suits to wear. So when I do go on my interview, I'm prepared for the interview and things like that.
And Miss Marilyn Parker, they sent me to her. And Miss Marilyn Parker said, Christopher, we're gonna get you a job. Do you know that the Urban League is known all over the world? And I told her, no, I didn't know that. She said, but we are known to help people like you get a job. And they did. And they did.
I learned about the Urban League maybe a month ago when I had went up there to get some information about a utility bill, and someone had shared some information about job search. She told me I was a good fit for Owen Staffing and to go fill out the application. So I went there and I got hired on the spot. And since then I've been working from Owen at a warehouse, and it's great. I love it. It pays every week. It's a nice pay. You know, it wasn't like minimum wage or anything.
One of the real strengths of the Urban League is they've been adaptable over time. So as the needs have grown and changed, they're able to grow and change. And not everybody can do that.
It provides me, not just as a woman, but as a citizen of this region, with some comfort that there's an organization committed to serving our community.
Today, the Urban League of Metropolitan St. Louis is top-ranked and the largest affiliate of the National Urban League movement, with 225 employees, 13 locations, and a $20 million budget.
I'm just so pleased to see the trajectory and to see the accomplishments from the last 100 years. And I believe the next 100 years would make the last 100 years pale in comparisons because of the speed in which we're able to do things. To hear her focus and to hear her passion and to hear what she's done to help make and mold what the Urban League is today has let me know that we must embrace, lean into, and continue and stand on her shoulders, continue that same type of advocacy, that same type of truth-telling, that same type of love for our people, and that same type of self-improvement, continuous self-improvement through being honest about where we are and where we must go.
Wonderful example of what leadership, true leadership, is all about. She's a person of great intellect, integrity, and a real inspiration for so many people.
There is no one like her, and I think her dedication to a variety of causes, but particularly to the Urban League, was extraordinary. She was active, she was at every board meeting, she spoke up, she was engaged. I don't think many of us could do that at the age that she was, and as frail as she was, but that was Frankie.
Civil rights for all people includes the recognition of the value of all people. And right now, I don't feel that there's recognition of the value of working for greater diversity.
The Urban League of Metropolitan St. Louis is empowering communities and changing lives, both now and into the future. Thank you, St. Louis, for helping to provide a century of service.